Hi, I'm Lisa. Welcome to my glass studio. You know, it's that time of year. We love fall. Nikki, myself, our whole family absolutely loves fall, and we really love Halloween. We love the change of season. We love the change of temperature. We love all the fun decorations we get to put up. So the other day, Nikki and I sat down in the office and we came up with a brand new Halloween design that we're looking forward to building and sharing with you. So we sat down and we said, all right, well, what should we do? And Nikki suggested like a sort of a moon shape, so we did that. Then we wanted a spooky castle, so we drew that in. Then we thought, oh, we need a creepy tree, of course, and then a couple of ghosts, some little windows to light up, a little pumpkin down here for color and for fun, some bats, of course, because it's a spooky scene, and of course a little skeleton hand coming out of the ground over here. We're not quite sure how we're going to render that yet, but we're gonna jump in on it and have a good time. So we just spent a few minutes picking out colors. We've decided that this would make a cool background. It's not we considered yellow, we considered gray, we considered tan, a variety of different things. We thought, it's our own project, we're gonna have fun with it, so we're gonna use this. And of course, we want an excuse to use this, which is, the splatter dichroic that we love so much. So we're gonna put the dichroic on top of this color. And this is actually a Fuser's Reserve, which has a crazy wild pattern on this side, but this side is a little more muted and fun, so we're gonna use it backwards. So you can do that on your own projects. Then we decided to pick this solid gray, kind of an elegant gray for the house, the spooky house. We're gonna use this iridized black. It's really thin. So the advantage to the thin is if you look at these patterns, I have 2 copies of the pattern here. If you look at the pattern, the tree is pretty skinny, and then here it gets very wiggly. We're not going to necessarily go by that exactly. We're just going to try to get the essence of that tree. Same thing with the bats. And the thinner glass is a lot easier to cut accurately when you're doing small pieces with a lot of curves to them. Then here's our little pumpkin color. This is going to be the color for the windows. This is for the stem of the pumpkin. And then our ghosts are going to be iridized white. Now this glass is not going to cut so great on those intricate curves, but you know what? We're winging it. We're just going to have a good time and get as close as we can. And then of course we always have the grinder if we need it. So I've got 2 copies of the pattern. I'm going to start by cutting this first one up. I'll leave the second one whole for now. I may cut it up later, or I just may use it to build on top of as a reference. And of course you can get this pattern for free on my website. This project is about 10 inches wide. I'm not sure what the top other dimension is, but you may have to enlarge it after you download it from the website. All right, there we go. So now we can take this pattern and use a glue stick and just very quickly and easily put a little bit of glue on there and put it over here on the bottom edge, and we'll cut that out. Now, when you're pasting your pattern down, it's a good idea, like instead of putting this right up against the edge, I gave it a little distance here. If you have a little space, it'll break off more neatly and you'll have less grinding to do. So since this is going to be scrap anyway, it might even be a better idea just to center it on this edge, and then I'll tend to get a cleaner break around the outside. All right, I'm going to take my cutter. I'm going as close to the paper as I can without going into it. Oh boy. Yeah. Did you hear that? You're looking for consistent pressure throughout. That wasn't easy to do because I had to contort my body. So you can move the glass and rotate it to make it easier for yourself. So I have one score all the way around. This one's going to help it break correctly. So I'm going to squeeze here with my runners really quick. There we go. I rotate this. I squeeze over here. There we go. Perfect. Now I'll squeeze here. And we have, wherever those intersections, those score lines came together, we have a little bit to clean up there. So I'll just take these grozers and peel off that excess glass there and peel it off over here. There we go. Okay, Awesome. All right, now I can do one of two things. I think what I'm going to do, move this aside. Now I'm going to cut a different method. That's the pattern method. This is the English method. You put the glass right on top of the paper. If it's a transparent color and you can see right through it, you just cut right on top. Now this bottom edge is straight, so I'm going to use, I got myself kind of bottled in here. I'll give myself a little more room. Now this piece of diacrylic fits on here pretty closely, so I'm going to take, put this over here to help balance that ruler. I'm going to take my ruler and cut a nice clean edge along the bottom here. Can't pick it up. This diacrylic is thin, so it cuts really easy. All right. So the English method, you put the glass on top of the paper and you look through it to cut the size and shape that you want. It's faster and easier than the pattern method, but it's not always as accurate. Oh boy, here we go again. Oh boy, I'm getting stuck. Made it. Woo! All right. Now this one, because it's thin, I'm just going to do, it's hard to see the score line on this. Oh boy. There it is. Is that it?
No, over.
Let me put it back on here. I can see it on that side. Okay. So, well, all right, it's right there. I'll just put my finger there. Oh, okay. Thank you.
It's right there.
Yeah, there it is. Oh, now it's going to act, behave. It's going to be mischievous now. There we go. I got this one on the run. Nice. And we have a little bit of extra over here. Now this is called splatter, and it has the pattern on both sides of the glass. So it's a little more difficult to get good contact with the glass because you're going over that pattern, that texture. But being thin, it generally cuts pretty easily. That got a little chunky, but you know, it's a chunky moon, that's okay. So let's go ahead and lay this on top of this. And look how cool that's going to be, right? That's going to be fun. All right, so I'm going to put this aside for a moment, and then we'll start. I'm going to bring over my Morton board. We'll start working on the spooky house. Okay, I'm going to use this paper as a pattern, as a reference to cut this house. So I've got a ruler here. I'm going to measure the size of this tower, which is, we're going to call that 7/8. This one's 7/8. That one's 7/8. So I'm going to cut those towers first. I've got a little break right here, which we actually don't need because the glass is tall enough to cut those. So I'm going to bring this over here, check this edge, make sure it looks nice and straight, which it does. And what did we say that was? We said, actually, you know what? It's 5/8. I was wrong. It's 5/8. It's just a little bit bigger than 1/2 inch. Yeah, 5/8. Okay, so 5/8 is right there. And, you know, again, I'm going to cut this stuff, but I'm not going to be, you know, this is for fun. I'm not going to be super critical on dimensions. All right, let's see if that's enough. So I like to use this strip cutter because it makes my pieces really accurate. Now look, I can tell you right off the bat, these two are not exactly the same size. I'm not going to worry about that. I use the bigger one here. Looks good. Use the smaller one here. And there should be enough left over to use this one here. So, and then let's see, what's the dimension on this piece in here? 1 7/8. So we'll cut that dimension first. So the strip cutter is nice when you're doing things that are straight because you have a lot less waste with your glass. You get much more accurate pieces. They'll fit really nicely on top of your pattern. There's a lot of benefits to using some sort of strip cutter. All right, that looks nice there. Okay, let's lay that there. We could take this dimension, which is 2 7/8. I must have been in a 7/8 mood that day. There we go. Okay, we got our tower there. Put this one here. This one here. Oh, there's a little bit of a rocking there. Let's see if we can turn that over if that helps. Yep, it does help. Look at that. So even when you're doing a strip cutter, sometimes you get a little bit of variations there. Okay, I'm just going to cut this here. There we go. We'll use this, switch the narrower one over here. All right, we'll cut that off. Came out a little crooked, but oh well. It's a creepy old house. It's old and it's crooked, so that's okay. All right, we could probably use this to cut those little peaks. So we could use this one right here. Yeah, it fits nicely in there. So I'll just cut, I'm not even gonna look at the pattern, just gonna wing it here. Cut the top of that little spire, I guess it's called. Yep, that fits. And now look, this one already has a little angle to it, so we can use that. Although it's got a little curve to it. But then again, remember, it's a creepy old house. But I'm gonna cut a new one. There you go, look at that. Now this one, we're gonna go ahead and use that little peak there. You can see how precise we're being here, right? That works. All right, so these little guys, I'm going to cut, let's see, I'm going to cut a strip off of this. Is this long enough? That's long enough. So let's use that. You cut like a 1/4 inch piece here. Now if you can't get your fingers in there, you can sometimes take another piece of glass and use that to kind of hold it for you. There we go. You know what, I should have just made that piece a little taller. So you know what, maybe I won't bother with those. Maybe I will just, yeah, I'm going to change the design up a little bit. I'll bring this in here. I've got to cut 3 pieces at like 3/8. 1, 2. Because we got to get this done quick because we're in the, you know, we're in the Halloween season here. We don't have time to mess around. Okay. Those are our little, the top of the wall there. Yeah, I like that. Okay, perfect. All right, so we have our spooky house. We have our sky, our moon background, our fun pattern. We have our spooky house going great. All right, so I'm going to move the spooky house. Oh, we need a door. We don't have a door yet. That's okay. All right, I'm going to move the spooky house. I'm just going to leave the spooky house. I'm just going to slide this out of the way where it won't get bumped. And we'll use the other pattern. There we go. So what I need to know is how big the windows are. Windows, I'm going to call those, well, first of all, I got some bad edges on here. So the first thing I'm going to do is, this looks like a nice clean edge. The first thing I'm going to do is clean up this edge. All right, it's still kind of bad right there. Take that off. Now I'm going to cut a 1/4 inch piece of glass because I think that would be pretty accurate for that. Yes, it would. So I think that's a nice size for the windows. And the other dimension, we're just going to go 1/2 inch. So you can put a stop to get all these really accurate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's number 4. You can put in stops to make these really accurate, but I kind of think having a little bit of variations on this particular project is going to add to the, you know, to the appeal of it. Okay, we've got a window there, window there. Oh, these are fun. There's my score line. So it's nice having 2 copies of the pattern because then you can use one for reference, you can keep it whole, you can give it to one of your grandkids, let them color it if they want to. All right, now let's do a door. Let's see, is that big enough for the door? No, we're going to have to use this side. All right, so the door. What are we going to call that? We're going to call that 5/8 again. Okay, so let's turn this way. All right, so what I'm doing here is rather than cut a neat cut here, I'm just gonna cut this the right width. And I might even just use that little arch that's already on there. I like that. Yeah, so let's do it. Okay, so we've got a door, got some windows, so let's put those over here. Okay, we put one there. Okay, great. Oh, another window. Put that one here. Put that one there, maybe? Yeah, all right, that's what we're gonna do. All right, so what's left? We have a pumpkin. I have to find my orange. Here's my orange. All right, will this be big enough this direction? Yeah, it is. Okay, so I'm gonna keep this real simple. Just gonna cut that. And then I'm just gonna groze the corners. I take my grozing pliers. Top is the flat part. The bottom has the curvature in it. I'm gonna groze this over here. And I'm just gonna kind of pull on those four corners to round them out. Because this is kind of an oval shaped pumpkin anyway. And you know, pumpkins have texture, so this one certainly can as well. So the pattern in this case is inspiration and guidelines. It's not necessarily an exact, something we're following exactly. Look at that. Come on, that's fun, you guys, right? All right, there's a little pumpkin. And then here we need a little stem for the pumpkin. Right? This is so fun. Got a stem for our pumpkin. Now that thing, I don't know. We love the idea of that. How we're gonna achieve it, I don't know. Now this, when we put it on here, I have to move this window up. It's gonna sit there like that. And you know what, that's not resting really well. So I think I might tuck a piece of clear underneath there. Of course, it'll make it bigger, but it'll, or I could put it next to it. That would be another option, which maybe I'll just do that. There we go. And we still have room for the little hand. Okay, looking good. All right, should we do ghosts now? Let's make ghosts. All right, so I can't see through the glass. So one option would be to cut up the pattern. Honestly, I don't really feel like I need my ghost to be that true to the pattern, so I'm just going to cut them. Ooh, see, now they're coming out really ghoulish. Okay, now I got a couple of pointy spots here, and take those off. And then we use my grozers. I'm going to trim the bottom here to try to give a little bit of, you know, movement, like it's waving in the wind. Look how cool that is. Now, is that a fast and easy ghost? Right? And look at that. Ooh. You know, it's October here, but it's still hot. Sweating over here like crazy. All right, so cut out another one over here. I'm kind of enjoying the fact that these little design elements are, you know, just kind of coming together. Without a whole lot of, you know, not a whole lot of pattern making, just kind of fun. This guy definitely has a pointy head. So I'll round that out a little bit. Now I'm going to take this to a full fuse temperature so it'll soften a lot of these elements that are kind of hard. Yeah, put this way where you can see what I'm doing. There, look. Came out good, right? He's a little plump right here, but let's see. Oh, he's perfect. He's a little short, a little shorter than one in the design, but that's okay because I got a lot going on over here, so I think that's fine. All right, now let's throw some glass around. Okay, I'm making a big mess for myself here, so I'll move some of these pieces out of the way because that's usually when you'll get, you know, poked with something. Okay, so let's put the ghost here, ghost there. Most of these little elements, design elements, were Niki's idea. She was the one coming up with, oh, let's add this. Oh, let's add that. Let's add this. Let's add that. And it's really fun. So I want to point out that we're using an opaque yellow here because we want it to show. So an opaque color will show on another darker color. If you use a transparent yellow, it'll disappear and you won't even see it. And we're using an opaque spooky house on top of the other colors again, so they show and we get a really nice silhouette outline. And we decided to use a dark gray instead of black because it's a little bit less stark. But we are going to use the iridized black for the tree because here we want the thin is nice because it'll be easier to cut, and the iridized will give it a nice little shimmer, like the iridized ghosts have a nice little shimmer. I'm going to turn this way. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to sort of use this tree as kind of an idea for a tree. And I'm going to cut this off here so that, let's see if I go, oh yeah, if I go that way, that's good, okay. I'm just going to use the edge here as kind of a guideline. There we go, yeah, that's nice, right? Okay, I'll cut this. I kind of like that curve, right? Do you? Mm-hmm. All right, so what we're going to do here, cut that off. And now we'll put it back on. Let's see, we'll cut it again. And we're just kind of going to build a little tree. It has kind of, let's see, I'll take a little piece off of that. There we go. All right, now I'll cut another little tree limb. I'm going to cut this as long as I can, and I'll break it up and use what pieces of it. Oh, look at that. So it's not nearly as curvy as the tree in the picture, but that's okay because unless you want to spend some time at the saw, you're not going to get that much curve, or unless you do it in pieces, which is certainly an option. Yeah, yeah. Okay, fun. All right, I think I want to grows the tip of that, make it pointy. Oh, now it's broken even. That's good too. All right, maybe one more piece here, go in this direction. I like that little bump right there. So maybe I could do it this way. I certainly can. Oh, there we go. Now it's not the right angle though. So these little holes, sometimes when you're working on skinny pieces, they fall into the hole and they'll break on you. So maybe working on the table is better. And you know what? That's not even the right angle. It's not even the right angle. Let's redo that this way. Yeah, that works. All right, we'll cut this off here. Okay, so not exactly like the picture, but I'm okay with that. It still looks kind of spooky. And it's still kind of fun. I don't know, what do you think? Is this one too straight? No, it's good? All right, it's good. And then there's this extra piece here, so we might as well use it. And we'll use it over here. Okay, cool. All right, now the bats. All right, the bats, same thing, I'm going to improvise here. We're just going to, oh gosh, I don't know. Should I do like an M? Should I do two individual little pieces? I don't know. Let's find out. Okay, so I've done two little curves. Let's see how those work. All right, I'm cool with that. All right, looks like a little bat. So you need a lot of imagination with this project, but that's okay. We have that, lots of that. So I'm just cutting two little kind of curves and then kind of putting them together. Yeah, ooh, look at that one. Cool. All right, they're getting kind of big. Let's see if I can make this one smaller so it looks like it's in the distance. Because when you fire the glass, it's not only what you see, but the edge kind of spills out, so it makes the pieces even bigger. All right, so I got this one a little bit smaller. Put it over here. Yeah, I think I like that better. So, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut a few more. I'm going to not use the first two, these two, although maybe I could just cut pieces off and make them smaller. That's what we're going to do. We're going to make these smaller so they're more delicate looking. Although the bigger they are, the more menacing they look, so that's not a bad thing. Ouch. They're also, see, they were menacing. It poked me. Okay, no blood. That's good. All right, that's cool. Now, can I use that other little piece? Where am I here? Can I use this piece? I probably can. And then if I cut, well, I'm going to leave that one. I like it kind of fat. I like that there's some variation there in the sizes. All right, now the fun part. Let's put it all together. So let's put this bad boy together. Right now we have our base glass, which is this pretty color. We've got our splatter dichroic for our bling. You've got this pattern has the spooky castle, the pumpkin, and the two ghosts and the lights. And this one has the tree. So I'm going to move the tree over here since I'm moving fewer pieces by moving the tree. I'm going to move the tree over here and see how it works with the, oh look, those two fit together nicely. See how it works with the house, and it works okay. We may end up not using all these pieces because now it's getting a little crowded. And let's bring our bats over. There we go. All right, and the reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to shake this off and get it clean. I'm going to take the dichroic piece and put it on top of here where I can see the pattern through it. And I'm going to bring this out of the assembly for a minute. And I'm going to use the pattern that I can see through the glass to put the design elements where I want them. So it seems to me I should start with the house. Oh, and look at this. So I have this jar of little dots. Some of them are clear dichroic, some of them are dichroic on black. I have all these different little shapes. And what we did, so I make these shapes when I have spare space in my kiln. And I have a previous video on how to make dots. One of my most popular videos, actually. They're really fun to make. And then I make them when I have spare room in the kiln, and I put them in a little jar, and then I use them for projects like this. Like this little guy, we've got his little eyeballs for the ghost we took out of the jar. This guy has two eyes, his other eye is right here. I have eyes and a mouth for him. And then we're going to do a little something different for the pumpkin. But they're great to have around when you need just a little something small to give a nice accent. So I'll move the ghost over here. I think I'll keep the lights where they are so I know where to put them. Okay, so I'm going to put this right here. This here, there we go. And I'm going to try to avoid using glue on the dichroic if I can because it tends to leave a residue between layers. Now, not too concerned about it with this dark gray because it won't show through the color. But, you know, just to be on the safe side, I don't want to introduce any contaminants that might cause, discoloration anywhere. So we're just going to try to avoid using that right now. So I'm going to put the tops on these towers. These things in there. Now, I might use glue in some areas if it's a matter of I don't think I can get the project to the kiln without the glue, then I'll use it. All right, there we go. Yeah. Right, that's so fun. Okay, now, let's put our pumpkin in place right here. Put the little top on the pumpkin. This ghost is going to go here. There's little eyeballs. Now these, I'm going to take, this is liquid hairspray in a little bottle with an applicator tip. You buy this online. And what you can do is just drip a tiny bit of hairspray onto the glass and it seeps underneath. It dries quickly and then the piece will stay in place when you move it to the kiln. It won't slide around. Because sometimes the glass seems to have like a residue on it that makes it slip. And actually, clear sheet glass, they actually do put a residue on it that makes it slide, so when two pieces come in contact with each other in the crate, that they don't scratch. There we go. I'll put a little bit here to hold those together, a little here to hold this together, and let's put a little bit right there. Hold that together, cool. All right, now we're gonna put this other ghost on, and here he's kind of, well, we don't want him coming out the door because that's just cool. I just hope his eyes don't roll away when it fires. But, because the glue is an organic and will burn off at 800 degrees. So although it'll hold it for me now to move it into the kiln, it's gonna burn off before this actually melts down together. So we just have to be hopeful that everything stays where we want it to. All right, let's put the these guys on here. Now these are sitting on top of the texture of the dichroic, so I don't think I'm gonna have to glue these. I think they'll be fine. All right, and I think this bat wing is a little long, so maybe if I assemble it a little differently. There we go, that's better. All right, now the tree, let's move that over here. I'm not sure how this is gonna fit. Now we have all these other pieces in here, but we'll just do our best to get it all on there. Try to see if we get this one up here. You know, I have another piece here. I might just leave it like that. I think that's fine. I'm not going to use those extra pieces. All right, so we'll put a little glue on there so they don't move either. All right, I have this fire stick, and we thought it would make make cool eyeballs and a little mouth for the pumpkin. So I'm going to take mosaic nippers and cut two pieces. I'm sort of trying to cut triangles. Let's see what we ended up with. Well, that one is sort of a triangle. Is that one good enough, or we want something better? I think that's good enough. All right, and now let's do a little mouth. Okay, I'm gonna use my tweezers now. Oh boy, this is so fun. Oh, look at him, he's lighting up. Even has a little bit of character there, look, with the slanty eyes. Kind of fun. All right, so I'm gonna put a little bit of glue on those so they don't move on me, because I have a lot of pieces here, a lot of bits and pieces. All right, now we have to address this skeleton hand. So I already told Niki he may not have 5 fingers. So we're gonna take this black stringer, and I'm gonna cut it, put it here. And now I'm gonna, I don't know, how many segments are in it? 1, 2, 3 segments in a finger. Okay, we're gonna just break these up with my fingers and see what we can do. And I suggest we use a different color, but she really wants black. So we're gonna use black. All right, here the tweezers are really gonna come in handy. Oh, hold on, oh. Get that over here. Maybe they're not gonna come in handy. All right, there we go. All right, let's glue that down so it can't go anywhere. All right, now, you know what I'm gonna do? I don't know if this is a good idea. I'm gonna just put a puddle of glue here and see if I can get these fingers to kind of, ooh, this is fun, right? Now it's probably, I have glue on the tweezers, so it's likely to stick to the tweezers. I think that one needs to be a little shorter. All right. Okay. We're getting it. This one I'm going to break in half. If I can, take my grozers, grab it. I don't know, is it looking like a hand? No, she's giving me a face. She's giving me a face. It's not good. All right, what should I do? Should I curl them in more?
Add more?
I think curling them more helps. What about these little tips? Does it need a fingernail? Does that help or not? Because look at these little bits I got here.
Add more fingers.
Add more fingers, she says. I don't even know where that went. Okay, we're gonna add more fingers. All right, I'm gonna try to break these smaller. Use my grozers because, you know, we actually looked up a skeleton hand, and you know they get the fingers. Obviously, you know, you get the larger finger, and then they get smaller. Oh, we need a thumb too. What about a thumb? Okay, let's see how we. Let's do. I'll put a little more glue. I'm looking at this from the angle so I can get a better idea of where that puddle is. All right, so now let's do a thumb. Ooh, look, it's saying okay. All right, we'll do this one. Do this one next here. Oh boy. Well, I hope you guys appreciate this. The time and effort we're putting into this cool little piece. All right. Well, to be honest with you, we're just having so much fun it wouldn't matter. All right. You know, I'm liking where this is going. So, it's good. And it looks kind of like stickish right now, but they are going to fire a little flatter.
You need a toothpick or something?
I don't know what I need. There we go. It's looking like a little hand, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's just saying that to humor me because she thinks this is fun watching me struggle. That's funny. Come on, you guys, that's funny. All right, I'm going to give each one of them a little tip. If I can get it to come off with the tweezers or my finger. All right, hold on. Let's see if we can make little tips. I need 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's see if we can get these to stick. All right. That finger looks like it's a little broken.
Well, they are dead.
Oh, okay, you're right. Okay, let's see, this one here. Oh my gosh, this is why I don't make jewelry, because these little things drive me nuts.
I think the thumb should be shorter.
Okay. Let me get the pinky on first. Oh no, they're sticking together. Okay, I feel like a surgeon now. Okay, the thumb should be shorter. This part?
Mm-hmm. You replace it with the other one that's on the table?
That one?
Yeah.
Sure. Maybe. What do you think? Should the pinky be shorter?
No.
Oh, come on, that's pretty cool looking, huh?
Pretty spooky.
Pretty spooky. Our vision is coming to life. Oh. Okay. All right, so I'm going to sweep this up a little bit here so I can slide it and hopefully not disturb anything. All right, you know, I see there's a little bit of residue from the glue stick on here. So I would like to wipe that off with a wet sponge before we continue. So I wiped this off with a wet sponge and then used a dry towel on it because there was glue from the glue stick on here. I don't want to worry about that contaminating my acrylic glass that's on top of it. I'm going to place this here very carefully lift this up, put it on top. Woo. Here, we'll move that out of the way. And look how fun that is. Now normally I would do a full fuse on something like this, but I'm thinking this might be a good time to do a contour fuse, where the reason I'm suggesting that is I should get good edge quality around here, and I should retain some texture on these pieces, which I kind of like that three-dimensional quality. And we do plan to slump this over a mold, so I think that would be fun to have some, that goes to actually on top of instead of having the design elements on top, will give them more texture and more definition. If I full fuse, everything's going to spread out a little bit, and what is now kind of a fun, delicate tree is going to end up being kind of a big blobby tree. The ghosts still spread out and get bigger, so I don't know that I'll like that. I wouldn't mind if the hand pieces get a little bit bigger. Right now, looking at this one piece of this one bat, I'm going to make it skinnier because it's the bat that's, I think it'd be nicer if it has a little, yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. All right, so we're gonna contour fuse this and then we'll bring it back. Let's just see what we have. Welcome back to the studio. Oh my goodness, I'm so thrilled with the way this piece came out. Look at these fun little ghosts and this spooky house and the pumpkin with a little detail on its face. And I did a contour fuse, so I got a little bit of a texture here. I really, really love that. The tree came out nice. I love the splatter in the background. I love the way that the back, the halo here has a nice mood to it. Look at those fabulous colors there on the back that you're going to see when the light comes through this. You could put those little twinkly lights behind this, a candle behind this, any number of things. You can put it in a window, on a table near the front door, in the kitchen, anywhere you like. This is a really fun and easy project. Went together super fast, and you saw, didn't even grind anything. And look, I slumped it over a barrel-shaped mold, and so it's freestanding. So you can put a candle behind it, any number of things, or just leave it like that. Put it on a mantle, on a shelf or something. Anyway, super thrilled with the way this came out. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make this, and I hope you make one for yourself soon. So, thank you so much for following, subscribing, commenting, sharing my videos. We really appreciate it when you do that. It makes us feel so warm inside, that you guys are enjoying what we're doing here, and we're enjoying doing it for you. Also, become a premium video member. We would love to have you. We've got new courses coming out all the time. Lots of fun projects, full-length course, step-by-step video instruction, plus a pattern ebook with the designs, color images, tips, helpful tips. We have a brand new course that just came out, so check it out. Become a premium video member today. And until next time, happy fusing and keep it spooky.